Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to see about Solr in SAP Hybris. So let's get started. So I have prepared a notes which I will provide the link of this note in the description of this video. So let's see what is Solr. So Solr is a search engine that is integrated with SAP Hybris to provide the advanced search capabilities for e-commerce website. So what happened whenever user search any data in the storefront, it can come from either from Hybris DB or from the Solr based on whether that data has been indexed or not. If the data is indexed, it will be stored separately in the Solr and can access from there. And if the data is not indexed, it will be available in Hybris DB and we can access from there. So basically, what happened? Accessing the data from the Hybris DB will take more time than accessing the data from the Solr, because Solr, all the data is been indexed and arranged in the systematic form, and hence the Solr is preferred in searching than the Hybris DB. So if I go to the storefront and if I search for like a jackets, so you can see how fast it is. So as the data is been indexed, all this product data is indexed from the Hybris DB to Solr. So this has been very fast. Okay, and if I search here, so you can see I see the product result. So this all data is coming from Solr. So if you go back to the notes, here I have provided why we use Solr, because as I mentioned earlier, that it provides the faster search and optimize for the higher volume traffic and many more. So if you want to open the Solr, you can follow this link and copy this link, open in new tab. So this is the Solr server, and if you click on this dashboard, and here you have to provide the username and password. So here the username I have provided and password also. So username is Solr server and your password is server 123. So if you log in, so this is the Solr server. So all the data which is indexed from the Hybris DB get stored here. So we are using the April UK. So if you come to the code selector, so if you come for here, you can see for the your your storefront ID, the name will be created in the code selector. So here you can see master April UK product default. So our is storefront ID is April UK. So you can select this, and if you click on the query and execute this query, so you can see this response. So here is all the product data which has been indexed from the Hybris DB is been stored in the Solr server. So that's why this provide the faster search than the Hybris DB search. So that's the reason we are using the Solr. So we will be doing one hands-on here. Okay, so let's see that. So what we will do, so before that, let me explain about the facet. So what is the facet? So facet is the features that allow customer to refine their search result based on the specific criteria or attribute. Okay, so what happened means here you can see when I am coming to the PLP. So basically, this is a product listing page we call. So here you can see all the product is been categorized with some facets. So this left hand side, this things we call as facet. So by the definition, you can understand is allowed to refine the customer to refine their search result on the specific criteria. Okay, so you can see for the color there are the different color of jacket. So this all comes under the facet. Okay, so how if you might have a question that how this all this data is getting indexed and how this facet is been getting generated. or right, how this response which is present in the Solr, all the product data, how this is getting indexed from Hybris to Solr server. So if you go to the back office and if you come to the Facet, okay, and if you search for the if you come to the search and navigation, then Solr Facet search configuration, here the Facet search configuration is there. So if you click here, so our site, it is April UK. So if you open this index, okay, so from here we used to do the index. So if you click on index, then if you do the full index here, so all the data, all the product data from the Hybris DB will get indexed to the Solr server. So basically in this way the Solr indexing is been happen from the Hybris to Solr server. So we will be doing indexing once we create our facet. So you can go through more detail about the Solr in the Solr documentation, and from the Hybris side, means from SAP documentation also. So now let's go back to our hands-on. So what I am trying to create here, so first we will see how to create a facet of primitive type, and then we will be creating the facet of non-primitive data type. Okay, so primitive data type means, that this that can be boolean, integer, string, or your float, or your double. This all comes under the primitive data type. So if the attribute of that comes under that primitive data type, then for that we can use the Hybris out of the box value provider. So basically I will be explaining about the value provider also, and also I will be showing you how to create the custom value provider. So for now our hands-on will be, so like this color, for the color attribute, you can see the values are black, blue. Based on this the product has been mapped. So similarly, like this, I want to create the my custom facet which is not provided by Hybrid. So basically this color, size, brand, this all facet are provided from Hybris out of the box. But if I am having one custom attribute in my product table, and I want that custom attribute to have to configure as facet. So how I can achieve that, I am going to tell you now. So for the product, if you go to the product table, so if I open any one product, so if you come to the bundling, so here is one attribute which I will use. So this is the primitive attribute sold individually, so which is of type boolean. So for this I want to create a facet. So what I want for the some product, the this sold individually attribute will be true, and some for that it will be false. So I want, when I come when I'm searching the product, so in the PLP I want that facet of attribute sold individually. So that value will be true and false, and based on that true and false I want to filter out my search result. Okay, so that result I want to achieve. So how I can achieve that? So let's see that. So if you go back to notes, so so as I already mentioned, this sold individually, this is of primitive data type. So we can create the its facet directly from the directly through the impexes. Okay, so here I have provided the impex for that. So I will be explaining that. So first copy this impex from here to here, copy this, and go back to your HSC, and then go to the console, then click on impex import. So here if you see, I am creating the Solr index property and then creating the Solr query property. So you can always keep the format as same. So whichever value or means for whichever attribute you want to create the facet, you can change the value from here. So like um, here it is the uh, name of your facet, so it will be similar the name as what is the name of your attribute. By the same name you can provide that, and you have to provide the type here, and this all value you can keep as default. Okay, and then you have to create the Solar search query property. So this will be the responsible for your indexing the data from your DB to the Solar server. So here you have to give the index property name, so which we have provided here, and here is the priority you have to set. So basically why we use the priority, so with the help of priority, suppose if I give the color priority as 200 and then size priority as 100, so my color will be displaying first because its priority is more. So that's the reason we are using the priority. If you set the higher priority, your facet will come at the top, and if it is a lower than that, then it will be displaying below that facet. Okay, so for that reason we are using the priority. So let me import this impex, then I will be explaining more through the back office once this data has been configured. uh, Before importing, validate the impex once and then click on import content. So how you can search for your newly created facet, so you have to search for the facet in the navigation tree, then click on the facet search configuration, then open your index, your Solar index. So in our case it is the April UK index. So click on the index type, then click on this identifier, then click on the index property. So here you can see all the attribute which we want to index is been present here, like code, name, description. Okay, so whatever attribute you want to index, you have to create the index property. Okay, so we have created the facet that sold individually, and it has been created here. You can see if you click on this three dot and click on edit, so you can see the details which all we provided in the our impex, so that all value got imported. So in similar way you can create for any other primitive attribute. So you can copy this impex. Okay, so in same way as I mentioned earlier, also here you have to provide the attribute name and then the attribute type here, and here you have to provide the this facet type. So basically you can see the facet type from here. I have provided the refined, so it is been displaying as refined. So you, if you see the drop down, here are three value we have: multi select and multi select or and refined. So basically what is the difference between them? If you see difference between these two facets, this color and brand, if you select this this brand is of type refined. Okay, so in refined you can select one value at a time, and but if you select for the multi if you choose the multi select as a facet type, then you can select multiple value one at a time. So that is the difference between the multi select and refined. Okay, so when I will creating the non primitive facet, okay, in the further part of the video of this Solar in SAP Hybris, so there I will be showing you the means there I will select for the few attribute, I will select the multi select and also the refined. So that is the use. And here what we have used the Solar search query property. So this you can find from the administration tab, And as I already mentioned, this will be responsible for during the indexing, to communicate with your Hybris DB when you index. So from this property, it will be communicating with the Hybris DB and fetch the facet values. So if you so this is the index property name and this is the priority as I mentioned earlier. And one thing to mention which is the most important is the value provider. So basically what are the value provider? So see, for this attribute, okay, I am creating the facet for the attribute sold individually. So for each product I want that value, whether what is the value for the sold individually, it might be true or false. Okay, so I want to fetch that value. So how I can fetch that value? With the help of the value provider. Okay, so for the primitive data type, okay, you can always use the Spring EL value provider. Okay, so no customization is needed if you are using the primitive data type. If it is a non-primitive data type, then you have to create your custom value provider, which I will explaining in the further part of this video when I will creating the non-primitive data type. Okay, so this time we are creating the primitive data type. So we are using the Hybris out of the box value provider, which is Spring EL value provider. So this is the most important thing. So from this value provider, it will be fetching the value of that attribute which is sold individually. Okay, and this is the display name. So whatever, so you can see the impacts. So for the display name, I have created the impacts below. I am updating the Solr index property. Okay, so whatever display name I am providing here, so it will be displaying in at the title of my facet. Okay, like for the color, if you see the facet for the color, okay, so this is a swatch color. Okay, if you see the display name is a color. If I give the, if I want to change the this facet name, okay, from color to YTS color. Okay, suppose I want to give the title as YTS color. So I can change the display name and click on save. And if I reload it, so you can see it has been displayed as YTS color. Okay, so basically that is the use of the display name. So in our case, I have given the sold individually. Okay, so our facet has been configured. Now in this way you can create the primitive data type facet. Okay, so now once you created the facet, then you have to do the indexing. Okay, indexing of for your Solar Facet search config. You have to do the indexing, you have to do the full indexing. So before doing the indexing, I will be changing few value, because I know that sold individually by default the all the value will be false for the product. So I will be changing the value for the sold individually as false for the sum of the product. So if the product have the different value, then only I can get in the this sorting result, right? So that's why I will be changing the data for the few of the product. So I can open this two products. So I will be changing the data for this two products. So copy the product ID from here and then go back to your back office, then go to the product. Then in article number you can search this, and then if you come to bundling, so I will make this as false. Also I will make this the false in the base product. So for the base product you will go to the administration tab, and there you will be getting the attribute as base product. So open this in bundle, make this as false, save it, again open this, so I know the one more layer will be present. So go back to the administration tab, then it will have again the base product, so this will be the final base product of that, and come to the bundling and make it false. So in all the three level I made it false. So you have to do the same. Okay, and for the this product I did, and for the next product I can copy and I can search for the next product. Go to bundling, make the attribute as false, then go to administration tab, then make it false for other two base product. Open the base product, go to bundling, make it false, save it, again open that base product, because this base product will have another base product, and make it false here. So now I have to do the indexing. So basically we have changed the six product. Basically that is the two product, but it has the two base products, so total it will six. So what I will do, I will filter it from the modification time. So I will give the current time and I will change to, I will be giving the 10-minute back time, and I will give greater than equal to, you can perform the same. So this I am doing to filtering out the recent changes, products. So I will select this all and do sync. So because all the whatever we made the changes, that we made changes in the stage product. So in order to do the index, so before doing the index we have to sync the product. We have to map the stage data to the online data, then we will sync the product. So you can start syncing the product, so it will take couple of minutes. Okay, our indexing is our sorry, our synchronization is completed. So our product is synced now. Now we are ready to index. So open April UK index, then click on index, then start the full indexing. So it will take couple of minutes to complete the indexing. So our indexing is successful. So you can click on finish. So first I will go to the Solr server and I will see whether my attribute is been indexed or not in this, it is mapped in the Solr server or not. You can search for your attribute, our is sold individually. You can see, yeah, our attribute is been present in the Solr server now. So if you go to your storefront, and now if you go to search for the jackets, go to snow and click on jackets, so you can see our facet has been created. So based on this, so for two product I have made it false, so that two product I am getting in the search result. If I select the if I apply the filter as false, okay, and if I select true, so the product which have the sold individually as true, I am getting in the search result. So hope you have understood how to create a facet for the primitive data type. Now we will be seeing how to create the facet for non-primitive data type. So what I will do for the non-primitive data types, what are the non-primitive data type? Basically, it is a user-defined data type. So, like in this example, okay, For here I have created the subsection as creating a facet using value provider. We will be now creating the custom value provider. So here I have done few modification in item.xml for the product data type. So what I have done here, so I have created few primitive data, two primitive data type attribute and one non-primitive data type attribute. Okay, so in product I am creating the selling rank of the product, which is of type integer. So in same way how we have created the sold individually facet, we will be creating the, in similar way we will be creating the selling rank your facet after doing the and all and the starting the server after configuring this attribute to our table. And for the product zone, this is also the primitive data type as a string. Okay, so this will also in same way we will be creating the product zone also as it is primitive data type. But for this attribute manufacture zone, I have created the type of manufacture zone list. So if you see what is the manufacture zone list, okay, so basically it is a collection. So for manufacture zone list, so it will be a collection of manufacture. Okay, so in manufacture table, what is all in manufacture zone table, what is the attributes? It is the zone ID, zone name, postal code. Okay, so you can see, so this attribute is non-primitive. Okay, because it belongs this manufacturer zones is type of collection of manufacturer zone. Okay, so this is non-primitive data type. Okay, so how we can index this manufacturer, this too will be easier for us, how we do done for the sold individually. So that in similar way we can create the facet for this too. And if you modify few of the data with the different data of the product, then if we index we will be getting it in the facet. And but the challenge will come here in the manufacturer zone. So this we can achieve through the our custom value provider. So same thing I have done, you can see I have created the my value provider. So this we will be configuring now. So let's get started. So first what I will do, first I will copy the this item.xml code. You can copy this item.xml code and open your code base. So once your code base is open, you can do the item.xml changes. So you can go to the custom folder, then you have to open your core extension, and in the resources here you will get your item.xml. So here I will paste that code. Okay, so if you see, as I already explained, in product table I have introduced three new attribute. One is sellable rank, product zone. Sellable rank is type of integer, product zone is type of string, manufacture zone is type of manufacture zone list. Okay, so this is throwing error because I have not created the collection for this. So in order to create the collection of this, you have to go to the collection section. So you can copy this one, existing one. Okay, and here we have to provide the code. So you can provide the type, and in element type you have to provide this manufacture zone table code. So it will be a list of manufacture zone. Okay, so you can see I have created a type list. So it will this manufacture zone list is a type of list of manufacture zone. So our data modeling part is done. Now you can trigger and clean all. Oh, so go to your Hybris setup, then go open your Hybris folder, then click on Bean, and then click on custom. Sorry, click on Bean, then go to platform, and here you have to open the CMD. And first you have to set the environment, and then trigger and clean all. So our build is in progress. So once the build is completed, then we will start writing the our value provider. So our build is completed. So now let's create our value provider. So before creating the value provider, I will create this package value.provider in the core extension. So go to your core extension, then click on SRC, then click on right click here, and then click on new, and then click on package, copy paste that name, and click enter. And inside this, I will create my value provider. So copy the name from here, right click, create a Java class, paste the name, hit enter. So in order to save the time, I will copy paste the code. So I will be explaining each and every line of this code. So let me first copy paste the code. I will. So my IntelliJ is throwing the error of my new model which I have created. So if you are after doing the and clean all, if you are still getting this error, so you need to restart your IntelliJ. So I have restarted my IDE. So let it get index. So error has been gone now. So let's complete the display value provider code as well. So copy the name YTS manufacturer John Facet display name provider. So this has been used for the display name. So in similar way, click right click here and create the display name value provider. And copy the code from here and replace it here. And our value provider code has been completed, so I will be explaining this once I done with the wiring. So whatever the new class has been created, for that we have to do the wiring. So you have to do the wiring and the YTS core spring.xml. So I have also provided the wiring code here, so here you can see. So copy this wiring code as well and paste it below. So here you have to give the class path, and here you have to provide the ID. So in similar way for the display name value provider, and here I am using the property of the Solr field name provider because that has been used here. So field name value provider has been used there. So that property you have to use there. So revalidate once by clicking on this property whether the mapping you have done it correctly or not. So it is redirecting. So once you have done with the code, then you have to trigger the and all. Trigger and all. So let's the build completed. So till that time, I will be explaining you the each and every line of the code. So if you go to the value provider, so what we are doing here, we are extending the abstract property field value provider. So for writing the value provider, you have to extend the abstract property field value provider, which implements the field value provider. Okay, so here I have provided the logger in order to capture the logs if in case I get the empty value for my facet or not. And here I have already told I will be using the field name value provider, so I have used that class here. So create the variable of that field value provider, and then you have to override this get field value. So basically it is present in field value provider. So here you have to override this method. So I am overriding this method. So here you can see the parameter as index config, index property, and your model. So what I am doing here is here comes our logic. So first I am checking whether my model is of product model or not. So if it is an instant of product model, then I am going to this function which is create field value. Okay, so now from the model you know that sold individual sorry our new attribute for this if you go to item.xml, so for this two we will be using a spring el value provider which is provided by Hybris, but for this we will be using our custom value provider, so which we have named as yts manufacturer zone value provider. Okay, so you can create a so for that I have written the method here create field value, so where I am passing the my product model and the index property. So in which property we have to set that we have to pass here, so that's why I am using this two properties. So index config is not been used here. So in our future tasks if we can see if it is needed we will be using this. So for now we will be using our model and the index property. So if you I'm passing this to parameter in my method, if you go here, so what I am doing, so this our return type is collection of field value. So my return type is here list of field value. So I'm creating the object here. Then I am creating the list of manufacturer zone. Okay, because you know if I from the product model the manufacturer zone is the list of manufacturer zone model, right? So that's why I'm storing in this data type. Then I am checking whether in manufacturer zone is empty or not. If it is empty, then I am throwing sorry I am printing the log as manufacturer zone is for this product is empty and with the product code. Okay, so this you can observe in the log, and if the manufacturer zone is present, then it will go inside this function and it will iterate each and every manufacturer zone model. And then I am checking in, so in manufacturer zone model, if you see what all attributes are there, here it is having the zone id, zone name, postal code. Basically I want to store the value in my facet value, I want this as name. Okay, so that's why I will be checking the name is empty or not. If it is not empty, then I will be setting into my index, into my facet value. In my field value, I will be setting that. So if it is not blank, then I am creating another method, which is add field value, where I am passing the this field value, which is my return type, then index property, then here I am passing the language. So if you are using the localized attribute, then you can use this, or you can pass the language model here. If you are not using the localized attribute, then you can keep it as null. So our case, I have kept this as null. Also, you can, if you want, you can remove this, you can modify this, you can remove this parameter from here and here. So I kept it for the feature reference. For some other attribute it might be needed, so that's why I kept it. And then here you are passing the object value which you want to set. So if you come to this method, add field value, here I am storing the collection of string. uh, you know, our the value which we will be setting in the facet for the manufacture zone, that is the name of the manufacture zone. So list of name of the manufacture zone, so that's why I created the collection of string. So here you will be using the get name value provider. So from the field name provider, it will be field name provider dot get field name. Here you have to pass the index property, which is when you are getting from the above method. And then language model, here I have provided, if it is null, uh, if it is equal to null, then give as null. If it is not equal to null, then give the language iOS code. Okay. So uh, if so from this you can get the field name. Okay, so if now I am iterating the field name, because it is a type of collection of string, so in field name what I am doing, so I am iterating the field name, and then here I am storing the in field value, I am adding that, I'm creating the instance of field value, and in that I'm initializing the field name, and I'm providing the value of my field name, that is your manufacturer zone name. So in this way, for our facet, which is a manufacturer zone, the value will be getting stored in the manufacturer zone facet. Uh, so once this is done, let's see the YTS manufacturer zone facet display name. So if you come here, so here this is a simple logic. I am checking the field value name is blank or not. If it is not blank, I am directly passing that field value, or else I am returning the empty. So if you want, you can omit this, or else if you are configuring the display name, so it will be better. It will be not throwing the null pointer exception. Okay, so it will be useful. So it is recommended to use the display name value provider. You also you should configure this as well. So if similar for the display name value provider, it is extending the abstract field value display name provider. Okay, and you have to override this get display name method. Okay, and also you can manipulate this logic, but I don't have that much requirement, so I kept this. I am only checking the value is null, blank or not for the my facet value. So in this way you have to configure the this value provider. So our build is going on and our build is successful. So you can start your Hybris server. I will start in debug mode. So I will put the debug pointer here, and when I will do the index, I will see whether the call is coming to my value provider or not. So let's wait for our server to get started. Then we will import our impacts. So you can go through the impacts. Here is the impacts which we will be importing. So in same way, first we will be creating the Solr index property, then the Solr search query property, then we will, for the display name, we will be updating the Solr indexing property. And this is for populating the manufacture zone. I don't want to do it manually from the back office, so I have created the impacts for that. So you can see in manufacture the zone 3 attributes are there. So where zone ID will be unique, and zone name and postal code I provided, and then that same thing I'm mapping it to the products. Okay, so I am giving the different value because facet will not work on the same value. So when I will provide a different value, then only I will be getting the facet result um, in my PLP page. So let's wait for our server to start. Then we have to perform, as we have the data model change, we have to perform the update running system, and then we will be proceeding with the creating the facet, importing the impacts for the facet. So guys, our Hybris server is started. So now go to the HSC and start doing the update system. So in order to update the running system, you have to log into HSC. Then you have to go to the platform. Then click on update. Uh, Wait till this page get loaded. Yeah, pages got loaded. Now only select the update running system and uncheck rest all and click on update. So wait till update is completed. Then we will be start importing our facet impacts. So guys, update is completed. Now we can import our impacts. So let's first check whether our new attribute and our manufacture zone model has been created or not. So once you have logged into the back office, then search for type, then click on types and copy your model name. Our model name is manufacture zone, and you can search with your model name. So you can see here our model has been created. Let's open this. Yeah, our model is created, but data is not populated. So we will import the impacts. So I will import this impacts later, but first I will import the manufacture zone dot impacts. So copy this much code and go to console and then click on impacts import and paste this impacts, validate it and click on import. So here I have created three manufacture zone: Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, and with the name and postal code. So Impex has been loading. So our Impex has imported successfully. Let's see if we click on search. Yeah, you can see our data has been populated. Now let's see in product. If you open the product, if you open any particular product, so You have to navigate to administration tab. So for the product, we have created the three new attribute: selling rank, product zone, and manufacture zone. So let's see our attribute. You can see selling rank is there, and manufacture product zone, product zone is also there, and also manufacture zone. I will search it zones. You can see manufacture zone is also there. Um, Now let's populate the product data as well. So copy this and import your product data as well. Validate it and click on import. So I am adding the different data. You can see for the manufacturer zone, product zone, selling rank. Because as I already mentioned, for the our facet we to display it in the PLP page, if, different products should have different value. Then only it will be appear in the facet. So I have imported in stage version. So I have to sync the product now. So how I can find that product? I can find it through the modified time, the recent modified time, the 10-minute back time I will give. Click on okay. I have not added the modified time. You have to add it first, then click okay. You have to select greater than or equal to as well. So these are the modified product. You can see how many product I have modified: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and result we got as 7. So select this all and start syncing. It is processing. Yeah, it has start syncing. So let's wait till our product got synced from stage to online. So our sync is successful. Now we are ready to create the facet. So go back to notes. So copy the impacts from starting from here till here and go to your HSC in import section. So if you see similarly for sold in individually how I've created, I have put the data again. So you can, if you want, you can remove this. So I have also put the rank here. So priority here. So you can see previously we have put the this priority as 4,000, but this time it is 200. So first we will get the product, sorry, manufacturer zone, then product zone, then selling rank, then sold individually. This one due to this rank. So these are primitive data type. So I have um, I have used Spring EL value provider, and for the non-primitive data type, which is manufacturer zone, type will be string, and because I want to fetch the manufacturer zone name, and the value provider code you have to provide here. So id provide here. So whatever id you have provided in yts core spring.xml, same id you have to provide. And for the display name, this display name you will provide it in solar search query property. So for others primitive type we kept this as empty, but for our non-primitive data type we have provide the facet display name provider. So you say that id you can provide here, which you have customized. And here I have earlier mentioned that about the facet type. So for product zone and manufacturer I want the multi select. So I have used a multi select and multi selector, and I want to select a single value for this selling rank and sold individually. So I kept as refined. And this you already know, this I have created to update the display name. So let's import this impix, and import script is valid. So our impix is getting loaded. Yeah, import finished successfully. Now let's validate in our facet search configuration. So click on April UK index and go to item index type and click on the April UK product type index property. So three new facet we have created. So if you see selling rank, product zone and manufacturer zone with a facet as true, we have got in the index property. And if you see the value provider, I have used the spring EL value provider for this too, because this is primitive type. And for manufacturer zone, as it is non-primitive, I have used my custom value provider, YTS manufacturer zone value provider. And for the display name, if you go to administration tab, if you open the search query property, here you can see display name has been provided here. So in this way, we used to configure the value provider for the non-trip primitive data type. Now let's start doing indexing. So once if you search now for the jackets, so you can see our previous facet only available which we have configured, but the new facet which we have configured, our non-primitive facet which is of manufacture zone, is not available. So once we complete with indexing, so it will be available. So I have also ran the server in the debug mode in order to see whether call is coming here or not. So I will turn the debug on. So now if I start doing indexing, so call should come here. So click on index, start on full indexing. You can monitor the log also. So you can see the call has been come to our value provider. So let's step over. So our value provider is working. I will release the debug pointer, let the indexing completed, and I will monitor the log also. So you can see for many product, for the few product I have configured the manufacturer zone. For the product which is manufacturer zone is not been configured, it is showing the result that manufacturer zone is empty for the product with the product code. So our this log is getting printed. Okay, so let's wait till our indexing completed. So guys, our indexing has been completed. Click on finish. So now let's validate our result. So click on snow and then click on man jackets. So if you see, as per our priority, manufacturer zone has been coming here, Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, the value which we configure for the product. Product zone is also coming, selling rank, sold individually. So if I click on Kolkata, so four products are present for the Kolkata. Click on Mumbai, and if you select for the product zone, four product are for PZ5. Similarly for selling rank and sold individually, we have tested already earlier. So in this way we are configuring the custom value provider for the non-primitive data type, and also we have learned about the how to configure for the primitive data type. uh, so that's all for this video. Hope you liked it. See you on next video.